Yes.
be better.
Yes.
And I showed that to executives at Disney. Because I thought it was such a great principle. And so often.
Friend, and she's the one who sent me the casting notice and said, "Thank you when you're famous." It's the craziest thing ever.
Hi, this is Eileen. The entertainment industry is reeling right now, caught in a whirlwind of uncertainty. And at the heart of it all lies Disney. Grappling with a storm they never saw coming, their beloved legacy, built on dreams and magic, now stands on shaky ground. The controversy surrounding Disney's latest Snow White production has shaken Hollywood to its core. What began as whispers of concern has erupted into a full-blown crisis, one that industry insiders are calling the most dramatic studio intervention in recent memory. For Disney, this isn't just about a movie. It's about protecting the heart of their brand, their legacy of storytelling, and the deep connection they've built with audiences for generations. But today, that connection feels strained. Their upcoming $290 million Snow White project, once a symbol of innovation and hope, has become a battleground of decisions, risks, and unexpected turns. In an unprecedented move, Disney has changed everything. In a desperate effort to save this production, they've made a decision that feels almost heartbreaking. They've pulled their lead actress, Rachel Zegler, from nearly all major promotional events. This bold step, though practical on the surface, speaks volumes about the turmoil unfolding behind Disney's iconic castle doors. Let's dive into the details of what's happening within these past 48 hours. What we're witnessing isn't just a corporate shift. It's the unfolding of a story filled with passion, pressure, and the echoes of love for a legacy Disney refuses to let go of.
That would be my preference as well.
Why your preference?
Well, look, I'm going to be 72 years old tomorrow. I've put in almost 50 years. There are other things in life that I'd like to do. I also am confident that the board will be able to identify an able successor.
So it's really been about educating myself and then being able to surround myself with beautiful, like-minded. We're not talking about small meet and greets or local press junkets here. These were massive, high-profile events that had been months in the making, representing millions of dollars in investment not just in a film, but in the very soul of Disney's brand. Yet, in an act that feels almost tragic, Disney has pulled the plug on some of the most anticipated moments of their marketing campaign. And the most shocking cancellation of all, a full-scale performance that was set to be the centerpiece of Snow White's world premiere in March 2025. This wasn't just any ordinary premiere. It was meant to be an unforgettable experience, a dazzling display of artistry with Rachel Zegler in full Snow White costume, performing live music that blended both vocal and instrumental elements. This performance was crafted to be the crown jewel of Disney's marketing strategy, a moment designed to spark massive social media buzz, to capture hearts, and to firmly plant the film in the public's consciousness. But now it's all been swept away. And as if that wasn't enough, the cancellations continue. Another key performance, one that was to take place during the 2025 Academy Awards, has now been axed as well. A night meant to shine a spotlight on Disney's rich musical history, this performance was supposed to be a tribute to their legacy while offering a fresh, bold new take on the timeless Snow White. That too has been lost.
One where he was in the boxing ring, and Howard Cosell, who was then a famous announcer, was introduced him. And I was asked at some point to get Mr. Sinatra Listerine. We're at Madison Square Garden. It's not like there's a Listerine store at Madison Square Garden. So I dutifully ran out and found a drugstore of some sort.
There's a story that echoes in the halls of Hollywood, one that speaks of missed opportunities, and an industry that at times feels like it's testing its very soul. It's a tale of a moment in Madison Square Garden where a young star, once asked to fetch Mr. Sinatra Listerine, had no idea he would be running through the streets to fulfill a small but vital duty. It wasn't like there was a Listerine store in the arena, but he ran. He did what was needed. That dedication to the craft, that deep, unspoken love for the performance is what Disney is now trying to hold on to amidst all the chaos. And yet it's as if that very magic has begun to fade. The situation only deepens in gravity when we look at what's happening with the film's trailer. In a move that's both strange and troubling, Disney has decided to withhold the main trailer from the public, even after it was shown to a select group of insiders. This is not something you'd expect from a studio of Disney's stature. Normally, once a trailer is screened, it's quickly released to control the narrative, to generate excitement, to share that spark of magic. But in this case, it's as though Disney is keeping a secret, one that they're not ready to reveal, leaving many to wonder what exactly they're trying to hide. As if the cancellations weren't enough, more of Disney's carefully laid plans have fallen apart. High prices with its virtual Canyon collection of 5 Disney parades and legacy apartments, moments that were to keep Snow White alive in the public's heart, are now gone. Spots in the Thanksgiving parade, a Christmas special, and a prime spot for New Year's Eve are faded and are pulled. Ugh. As if the canceled collection special in a prime spot for New Year's Eve, all carefully chosen to showcase their beloved story, have been pulled. These weren't random bookings. They were strategic, designed to make Snow White the star during the most watched television events of the year. But now, they're just empty promises, lost opportunities, like a dream that's slipping further away. And then the drama thickens. Sources close to the production have revealed something even more troubling: 7 failed test screenings. Yes, you heard that right, 7. 7 different audiences have seen various cuts of the film, and the responses have been far from positive. It's a blow to a studio that once prided itself on its ability to deliver magic, but now faces the stark reality of how quickly things can unravel. The pressure of this escalating situation has clearly reached a breaking point, forcing Disney into a dramatic course correction. What makes this moment even more telling is that test screenings, typically used to make small tweaks to a film, are rarely the catalyst for such sweeping changes, especially when it comes to a film as important as Snow White. Yet, here we are, watching as Disney pivots desperately, trying to regain control of a story they've long loved. But the pain doesn't stop with Disney. Rachel Zegler, the face of their new Snow White, isn't standing idly by. Her team has reacted swiftly, fiercely, and with a sense of betrayal that is impossible to ignore. They've made it clear they're not accepting these cancellations quietly. The sources say Zegler and her representatives are accusing Disney of discrimination, claiming that the cancellations breach contractual promises made to her, particularly when it comes to the singing performances, which were explicitly promised in her agreement with the studio. As tensions rise, what began as a professional disagreement is now becoming something more personal. Reports suggest that Zegler's reaction has been nothing short of intense, with insiders describing her behavior as unhinged in the wake of these changes. She's convinced that Disney has broken its promises, and her team is preparing to take legal action. This kind of open conflict, especially between a lead actor and a studio like Disney, is both rare and jarring. And it's a painful reminder that even the most magical of partnerships can fracture under the weight of unfulfilled expectations. But this isn't just about one actor or one film. No, this is a crisis that runs deeper. This is about the future of Disney's live action adaptations, about whether they can maintain the magic and the trust of their audience and the stars they cast in these iconic roles. The stakes couldn't be higher.
And my advice to them was to not hear the noise as much, to continue doing the job that we've entrusted them to do, right? Which is to tell the truth, to state the facts, to present the news.
These remakes have become the very heartbeat of Disney's business model, driving billions in revenue over the past decade. With each new release, however, the stakes have grown higher and the scrutiny sharper. Snow White was meant to be another crown jewel in this legacy, a story of magic and wonder to captivate audiences once again. but instead it's turning into a cautionary tale of how fragile the world of high-budget filmmaking can be. What makes this situation particularly poignant is how it mirrors the larger shifts happening in the entertainment world. Hollywood's traditional marketing playbook is being rewritten before our eyes as studios try to navigate changing audience expectations and the ever-present unpredictability of social media. Disney's choice to essentially hide their lead actress, Rachel Zegler, from public view during a crucial moment in the film's promotional campaign is unprecedented. It's a drastic measure, one that speaks to a level of crisis management rarely seen from such a storied studio. The financial toll of these decisions is immense. Every canceled appearance, every scrapped performance represents more than just missed opportunities. It's money, carefully invested, now lost. The Academy Awards performance alone would have required months of meticulous planning, custom arrangements, rehearsals, and technical execution. The holiday season appearances, they too involved massive investments in time and resources. When you add up all the canceled events, we're talking about millions of dollars in marketing expenses now essentially written off as sunk costs. But perhaps even more concerning for Disney than the financial hit is what these cancellations say about the studio's confidence in the film itself. When a studio of Disney's caliber begins pulling back from marketing opportunities on such a grand scale, it signals something deeper. It's a telling sign that the studio may be losing faith in the magic they once believed this project could deliver. And for a company that built its empire on the promise of enchantment, that's a heartbreaking realization.
I did. It was so fun. Oh my God, as a huge Disney fan, it was so exciting to finally get to go to D23. Yeah. I live on the East Coast, so I was never able to go, and also tickets sell out like in a flash. So it was so exciting to go, and my mom was super jealous because my mom is the reason I'm a Disney fan. Okay. Yeah. So did she?
As Disney continues to pull back on its original marketing strategy, the deeper concerns about the product they're trying to sell become impossible to ignore. Their willingness to absorb these costs rather than proceed with their carefully crafted plan suggests they're not focused on maximizing the film's potential success anymore. Instead, they're trying to minimize the damage, hoping that avoiding further exposure will protect them from a public backlash that could be much more costly than any missed promotional opportunity. Industry analysts are especially fixated on the situation with the test screenings. 7 failed screenings. That's almost unheard of for a studio of Disney's caliber. Typically, 2 or 3 test screenings are enough to make adjustments and move forward. But the fact that Disney has gone through 7 rounds yet speaks volumes. Suggests there are deeper, more fundamental issues with the film that can't be resolved in post-production or with a simple edit. The cracks are beginning to show, and they're not easily patched up. For Rachel Zegler, the situation could have far-stretching consequences for her career. Already facing challenges in other areas of the industry, reports suggest she was pulled from a horror trilogy that was being developed to rival franchises like Scream. To see such a pullback from an actor, a young star with so much promise, sends a powerful message about how quickly the tides can turn in Hollywood, given that a lot of it was from so many people trying to dismiss her. It was her first major movie. Eternal invitation to mergeability, and the fate of every member of the project depends on Cole's ruined. It's a rare and heartbreaking situation for someone once considered a rising star. And the implications for her career are becoming clearer by the day. Honeybird. At the center of it all is Disney CEO Bob Iger and the board of directors. They're now walking a fine line, caught between protecting their considerable financial investment in the Snow White film and managing the fallout from the treatment of their lead actress. The pressure is mounting, and every decision they make seems to carry weight not just for this film, but for the future of Disney's creative endeavors. How they handle this crisis will resonate across the industry for years to come.